What's up guys, my name is Andy. I recently did a video where I used one of these slick little wheel template devices and then put a tire in here to see what wheels would fit on my 66 Mustang. For those that are familiar with these cars, these early years, you can't put wide tires on there. There's just not enough space underneath the fenders, and so you're limited on wheel choice and then therefore tire choice. So I wanted to see what would fit my car and the setup that I have. And the tires that I put on, so I tried a 255/40/17 and a 275/40/17 to see what I could fit. Now, this is a lot of tire for these cars, and I think with the perfect backspacing on the wheels, you could probably make it fit, maybe a little bit of fender modification, but I found that just the 275 was just too large for my setup, and the 255 was the better fit. So I used this device, and I put it in there, and I needed to find out what kind of backspacing would fit my car. And I found that a 4.5 to 4.75 inch backspacing on a 8-inch wide wheel would probably fit pretty good. So once I had that information, it was time to decide what wheel was right for me. Now there's you can make a whole video on the types of wheels that fit on these cars. There's a lot of different styles out there. Some are good, some are bad. We all have our flavor and what we like. And there's a lot of wheel designs that I was looking at that won't fit because they don't offer the backspacing or the offset that I need to fit this car, at least for the look that I'm going for. So I kind of narrowed it down to some more popular wheels that I like that I know will fit this car. This style is the ever popular American torque thrust wheel. These are the VN 309s. The reason why I picked these is these have a straight spoke versus a curved spoke, like the Thrust Ds. The torque thrust, but thrusty or something like that. And the reason why they have the curved spoke is to fit over brake calipers, but on the way these cars fit with the way the hubs are designed for the brakes, it's not an issue to make the brake calipers fit. So, but for the size, those are 16x7s, and to get them with the straight spoke and the backspacing, I couldn't do it. So I got those ones, but now that I can be a little more picky about the size, I was able to get these 17x8s. These have a 4.5 inch backspacing, and they got the straight spoke, which is what I like. So this is one of the sizes that one of the designs I was trying to settle on. And the other one was this wheel. Now this is an ET Mags LT3 wheel style. It's very common, or very similar to the mini light wheels that people are familiar with the old Trans Am cars. The reason why I couldn't get the mini lights is they're just out of my budget. Those things are as awesome as they are. I just don't have the funds for something like that. But these ET Mags are a great wheel that they're very close to those mini lights, and I like it. So what I got here is, again, 17x8, but these ones have a 4.75 inch backspacing. And the reason why I have two is that the front and the rear on these cars, the backspacing needed to fit is not the same. I can get away with a lot more backspacing in the rear than I can in the front, but you can put on shims to kind of space things out. So I wanted to see what will work. So I grabbed one of each wheel, and then the tires I went with are 255/40. These are Falcon Azenas RT 615K pluses. I almost got the 660 pluses, and I might kick myself for not getting those down the road, but I'm real happy with the Falcon tires. They've been fantastic for me in this car and other cars I've had, so I wanted to stick with them. And so yeah, 255/40. So under the same tire, I'm gonna do square setup on this car. I just need to figure out what wheel I like and what one's gonna fit the best. So let's start with the rear, and we're going to jack it up and put each wheel on and take a look at how it fits inside the wheel well and inside the wheel tub and everything with this car, because it's not gonna be the same on the 67 and newer, because these older cars, there's a lot less room to play with on these cars. Here's a quick comparison of the two tire widths, 225/50/16 and a 255/40/17. So the OD, they're basically the same, so I'm not gonna have to worry about mileage changes or changing my speedometer cable or anything like that, or the gear on it, but definitely a lot wider, so that's gonna be awesome. The first one we're gonna go with is the American Racing wheel with the 4.5 inch backspacing. In fact, so the things that we're gonna be wanting to look at is this fender, or the wheel tub, if I have to bend these edges down, and then the leaf springs and how close they get to the backside of this wheel is what we're going to be looking for fitment on here. We only need to put two lugs on. We're not going to drive around with it. We just want to see how it fits. And of course, the other thing we want to look at is the fitment along here. The first thing we're going to want to look at is how much this tire lines up with the outside of the car. Now, I love that it lines up with it, but it is really close. And the big thing is when we hit a bump, this edge here is definitely gonna touch that, depending on how much of the springs, you know, compress, you know, or the leaves move when we hit bumps. We are really close, and that's a disadvantage of a 4.5 inch backspacing, because it's actually moving the wheel out away from the hub, which gets us closer to here. We're gonna have a lot more room in the back, but it gets us really close to this edge. Now looking at the back, we got lots of room between the leaf and the wheel and the tire. We got lots of room up here between the tire and the wheel tub in the front. We've got, if you can see it from here, plenty of room, everything's fitting. It wasn't a surprise that the 4.5 inch backspacing was gonna fit. I knew it was gonna fit, but we wanna see by how much, but ultimately it was how much the tire stuck out was gonna be the concern. This is probably a great time to point out that I have a panhard bar, and that's keeping my axle centered in the car. Without one of these, whether you have a panhard bar or a Watts link or a 4-link, all those devices, they work a little bit different, but ultimately what they do is they keep this axle centered from moving left to right, moving laterally. So I can get away with a lot wider tire because I don't have to worry about the axle sliding that way or sliding the other way on hard cornering and having the tire kind of self-center on the inside of the quarter panel. So because of that, I can get away with a wider tire. I think that's important for people. If you don't have a panhard bar or something like this, but you want to get as wide tire as you can, this is something that will help you do that. I got this. If you want to look up Mike Meyer Inc., he's got a panhard bar that you can put on your car for all the different years of the Mustangs and Fairlanes and Falcons and stuff like that. So you want to check that out. You can get yourself a panhard bar too, and then you can maximize your tire. And that is really, really close. It looks awesome. It's just squared up nice with the edge of the car, but I'm just worried that we're gonna rub if we hit any good bumps. And the downside with the backspacing like this is I can't make the wheel go in anymore. If I have too much backspacing, I can space it and bring the wheel out, but you can't go in. So this might not be the best fit. Let's put the other wheel on and see how it comes out. Now remember with this guy, this one has the 4.75 inch backspacing. So it's gonna put the tire in a different position laterally with the car because that extra 1/4 inch of backspacing is gonna suck the wheel in. Ooh, I like that wheel style. That looks pretty good. It's nice to change it up a little bit, but okay, let's look at the lip. Yeah, see it's tucked in, well, it's tucked in 1/4 inch more just because of the different backspacing. But it does look like we've got more space in between here. So if this tire goes up inside there during a bump or hard cornering, we're gonna have a little more room. Oh, it's really close though. Depends on how much travel I have in my suspension. Okay, sitting down inside here again. Naturally, we're gonna be 1/4 inch closer to everything, which is fine, but we had plenty of space before. So I think we're gonna be okay. You know, nothing's gonna touch, rub. I don't even have to worry about bending those flanges or anything on the wheel tubs. We're gonna be all right. Remember going into this that the largest concern with this 4.75 inch backspacing was this edge here on the wheel tub. So we got plenty of room. I can absolutely get a finger in there, and as this tire moves around and stuff, it's just not gonna touch. So that's good. That was a concern, but we're gonna be okay with this offset, or this backspacing. And one last look as we look down the side of the car. This wheel is tucked in just a pinch more, and I think that's gonna be a better fit, you know, for this setup here. It's a lot of tire. I think that's gonna be the better fit. All right, awesome. Well, let's get the car turned around so we can do the front. And then while I'm doing that, take a minute to turn the car on. Why don't you guys take a minute to check out my website, KruseBuilt.com, where you can see things like these wheel caps for these American Torque Thrust wheels, or the new, fresh new hat with the new KB logo, the KruseBuilt logo. But yeah, let me get the car turned around, and while you guys go do that. All right, we have a slightly different scenario with these front wheels, partly because we're not limited so much by the caliper size, the ball joint location. We are a little bit about the ball joint for the steering, but the big thing we're gonna have a problem with is inside here. More specifically, here along the frame. You can see how this flange, this lip is notched out. That's because as the tire turns inward, the edge of the tire could sit right inside here and it would clear and it would be fine. I've got my big, huge battery cable running up here because I got the battery in the trunk, so I can move this up out of the way a little bit. I'm gonna have to do that, but my concern is that with the backspacing we've chosen, it might get us too close to here. So that's what we're gonna try and find out today to see what backspacing is gonna be the ideal setup for the front. All right, I went ahead and moved that power wire out of the way because I know it's gonna be an issue. So I just went ahead and moved it. And we're gonna start with the same wheel that we did in the back, the American Racing torque thrust wheel. And we're gonna see, again, we're just gonna put 2 lugs in here just to see how everything fits up. Now we have a little bit different problem too. In the back, when you lift up the axle, the suspension's compressed. It's just basically, it's a ride height. With the car lift up in the front, there's a lot of space here, which we're not gonna have when the car's sitting down. But let's turn the wheel back and forth first and see what kind of fitment issues there might be. Again, 4.5-inch back spacing. Boy, that's really close up there to that upper ball joint, but we're not touching, and it won't touch. Even in the range of motion, it's not gonna touch up there. Same thing with that steering ball joint. There's plenty of space. Again, they're never gonna touch because they move together. But what about the frame back there? Let's turn the wheel and see what happens. All right, that is full lock, and it's kind of hard to tell in the camera, but it is not touching. Now, the only other thing is that the car is not sitting on the ground, so that might play a role. Let's drop the car real quick and see if we can tell a difference. Again, the car is not fully down on the ground. The suspension still needs to move, and we need to push on the car. And really, if we could back the car out and bring it back in, let the suspension set a little bit, we'd be able to see a little better. But I wasn't really worried so much about the 4.5-inch. It's the 4 3/4-inch back spacing that might give us a problem. Let's take a look real quick in this front here when we turn the tire. Now that I have power steering, I should have the car running because it's easier to turn the wheel. But as you saw it come through there, it doesn't touch. I do have rolled fenders up here, and actually in the back too, I have rolled. So that's gonna help with the fitment of this stuff. But it was really close. I'm gonna move the tire just so I can get to the closest spot. All right, I tried to push the car down as much as I could. You roll the car in and out, the suspension settles a little bit. I just tried pushing on the core support stuff just to get the car to settle down, and you can see there's maybe a finger's width in here. Now again, I have rolled this lip, so for those that haven't done that, that might be a different fitment, but that's about as close as we're gonna get with this tire. And then the other back spacing tire is actually gonna be in a little bit farther, so this is the worst of the two with respect to this fender lip. And then as we straighten the tire back out, there's plenty of clearance here. Now, it's gonna be even more with the other wheel, but I've got quite a bit of camber. I got like 1.3 or so degrees of negative camber, which is gonna tip the top of the tire in and give me a lot more clearance around here. So this is, there's still a little bit of an edge there because I didn't roll it 100%, but it's definitely rolled easy up in the front here where it normally touches. But as the tire moves in its range of motion with those control arms, it's actually gonna go up and it's gonna tip inward as it compresses. So I'm exaggerating it, but it will go like that as the tire moves up and down. So I think we're gonna be okay with this. And then of course the other wheel is gonna be even better with that. It's just that back corner was my concern about the different back spacings. But we know 4.5 will clear everything. Everything fits here with a 17x8, 4.5-inch back spacing. Let's swap out the wheels real quick and take a look at the other one. All right, so now we got the 4.75-inch back spacing in here, and you can see how much closer the ball joint is to the wheel, but it's not touching, and it won't touch. So that's good. Same thing with the steering ball joint. It's really close, but she's not touching. So now we want to turn the wheel and see how close we are getting to the frame back there. Yeah, we got plenty of clearance. Did I need to move that battery cable? Maybe not. Maybe it would have been fine where it was, considering how much space we have in there. But there might be a little bit of, I might be able to get a little more turn out of the tires. We're moving down the road, but ultimately we got enough space there, and that was the big thing, that we didn't hit anything with this setup. Let's turn the tire to the front here and see how close it gets to the fender. Yeah, we got plenty of room. We're gonna be okay. I'm gonna straighten the tire back up now. So as expected, we got plenty of clearance there. Again, with that more back spacing, it sucks the wheel in. So we're gonna have more room with this lip here, which there's quite a bit more, kind of hard to tell here, but there's quite a bit more space in between this lip edge and the tire here. And then more space here. So here's another look from this side on how that wheel looks. We kind of knew how the torque thrust looks because of that wheel in the back, but this is a different design, so it's kind of interesting to see how it looks. All right, so there we go. Now we know what the rear and the front are going to look like with these two different wheel styles, and most importantly with the different backspacing, because that's what's really separating these two setups. We know that in the rear, 4.75 works a little bit better for me because I get a little farther away from the lip of the fender, and I still have enough room on the inside of the wheel well, the wheel tub. Everything fits, and then because I have that panhard bar, I don't have to worry about that axle moving side to side, so I can get away with this size of tire. But if you didn't have a panhard bar, you might have to step down a size or two in terms of width so that you can have some room for that axle to move. So there's that, and then on the front, we found that not only was 4.5 plenty, but 4.75 will work as best as I can tell. Now I also have quite a bit of negative camber up front, so that's gonna help me getting away from the edge. With the 4.5 inch, gives me a little away from the edge of the fender, or the fender, so I'm not touching anything, but the 4.75 gets me even farther away, but it does get me closer to the inside of stuff. Now we saw that nothing was touching, but if you wanted to, now you could get spacers or shims like these. This here, I think this is a 3/16 shim, and it would move my wheel out. So I could have, the reason why you would do that, let's say the wheel style that you're trying to get has, let's say a 5-inch backspacing, and you couldn't get 4 3/4 or 4.5 inch. You could get the 5-inch and then get the shim, and that will move the tire out exactly where you want, and be able to essentially customize your setup. This particular wheel style only comes in 4.5. I don't remember what the next size up was, but it wasn't a 1/4 inch increment with this wheel size. This one, the off-the-shelf version of this wheel, comes with 4.75. You can order whatever you want. You can custom order those. It's gonna cost you more to do that, but you can get whatever you want and you wouldn't need these. The nice thing is, again, if you get too much backspacing, you can soak up the difference with the shim, and so we didn't show that on here because we didn't need to. I think everything fit pretty good. So where do we go from here? Again, I just wanna highlight with having that panhard bar in the rear, that allows me to get away with a wider tire, wider wheel, because I'm not gonna have that lateral movement. If you guys don't have that on your car, maybe looking to get something like that, but you're gonna have to be mindful of that as you pick your tire size, but I can get away with that with this setup. And then in the front, looks like either one will work. So with the negative camber that I have and that panhard bar, I can get away with these sizes. Now I just need to pick which wheel I want. And cool, so I decided I'm gonna go with